Well, hello, and welcome to Reimagining Education, a podcast from Michigan International Prep School. I'm your host, Eric Van Houten, and joining me today is Miss Cara Livingston. How are we doing today?
I'm good, Eric. Thanks for having me. I'm excited.
Yeah. So Cara here at MIPS is the Community Engagement Coordinator. So tell us what that is, what you do, and what you've done.
Yeah, so this is going on my second year here at MIPS. I actually started as a mentor, so I have a really good feel of our families here, and now I am the Community Engagement Coordinator. So it's my role to bring on new families, provide them with information, and then the current students, I get to plan really cool field trips, holiday parties, get them engaged with the community, and do a lot of outreach. So it's a really cool position I have here.
I love that. And hopefully some of you are listening or watching that went to our open houses, but Cara planned all of those, got all that great food in those locations. And I know that there were, a few hundred people that got to meet you and see you in action. So that was awesome.
I want to thank everyone that came out. I mean, in total, we had a couple hundred people, and just the information that we gave out, all the staff that was there, we had a great time. It was great to actually see people again and to get to meet new families and students. It was awesome.
I love that. And onboarding a ton for Count Day, which is what we're talking about today. You can see it in the title. You're probably preparing or heard from it from us, heard about it from us or from your mentor already. But today we are going to be talking about Count Day because Count Day is huge. Mm-hmm. Like I said, lots of communication goes out about it. It's an important day for us as a school and for your students. So, Cara, what is Count Day and why do we do it?
So Count Day there's actually two Count Days. We have one in the fall and one in the spring. And it is our big way of getting everyone accounted for in our school. Most students are enrolling this month, so it's a good way for us to keep track, but it's also for a way of the state to keep track of who's actually enrolled here at MIPS. So the way that we do that is having students get online to do activities, which we'll talk about in a minute. But once that happens, that's a big way that we receive our funding. So all the laptops that we send to students, the Wi-Fi that we provide, if you're in music classes, all of the great things that we get to provide to our students comes from Count Day. That's why it's so important. I mean, I've had students who have lost a laptop or something happened. We're able to send them another one because they completed Count Day. We got that funding, and that's so important to us to be able to do what we do. If you like being a student here, we're able to provide all this great stuff to you because of Count Day. So it's one of the biggest days of the year. It's a really fun day, actually. I mean, you get to talk to your mentor a ton. You get to talk to teachers a ton. So it's just really important for us to be able to do what we do. We do it well. We want to continue to do it throughout the year. So this October 6th is very important for it.
I love that. So we are still a school because we do Count Day well.
Yes.
I love that. And I know we had talked before too, and it's just important, I think, for families to know, it's not funding in the sense that if you do Count Day, we get a bunch of extra money and we get raises and buy stuff for the offices or anything like that, right? This is how we get funding for the entire school.
Yes. And
we're a nonprofit. So every dollar that we get goes back into your students, and that's all determined by Count Day. Very crazy. Scary for us maybe, but not too difficult for you as families and students. So what do the families and students need to know, and how can they prepare for Count Day itself?
Yeah, that's really important because, I mean, even as I start off as a mentor here, there's not really enough you can do to prepare them for this. You can send out the reminders and stuff, but it's really simple. We're making it, we don't want it to be pressured. It's simple on the families and students. So the first thing we need every student to do is log into their classes and do at least one assignment before Count Day. So obviously we've got some weeks. Most students have already been doing that. You've been in this past month. You've been doing coursework, hopefully, and starting to do all of your work. So that's pretty much covered. But within that week, it's on a Wednesday, so Monday and Tuesday, just do what you normally do. And then on Count Day itself, we need you to do at least one graded activity in each class. If you have a music class, if you have something like that, you just need to attend the live lesson, and your attendance will count for the Count Day requirement that we need in music. So it's pretty simple. If you just go about your day and you're doing your normal schedule, that's great. That's what you're supposed to be doing anyway, I would hope. But the earlier you get it done, the better. If you want to wake up, like let's say we've had students work at midnight the night before. If you're doing it super early, it's a big weight off of us. We get to get you counted right away, and that's huge, especially for prizes that we get to give out. Yeah. Which we started doing that, and I think it really makes a difference because the earlier you get it done, the more chances you have to win prizes. We've given out, oh my gosh, Nintendos, drones, scooters, skateboards, art kits. We give away school gift cards. We actually give away a ton of school gift cards. I had a bunch of students last year who got a bunch of shirts and really cool stuff. So it's a big day to win. We had a student, actually my student a few years ago, won the Canon camera, which is huge. I mean, she loves photography actually, and she got her work done at 8 a.m. She was able to have a couple chances to win prizes, and she was able to win a big one. So it's really important. It's a cool day. If you want to make sure that you get counted, text your mentor, email them and say, hey, I got my work done at 7 a.m. Am I good? Him or she will say, yeah, you're good. You can have a chance to win the next set of prizes. And we do announcements throughout the day.
Yeah, all day.
Prizes all day.
Yeah, it's so cool.
It's a long day. We're working from about 8 to 8. So we'll be sending out those videos throughout on social media, and you can be able to kind of listen and see if your name pops up there.
Yeah, that is so cool. And I know the prizes, they change every time, right? There's always something cool, always something that's available. I had a student win archery lessons.
Yeah.
I don't think that'll be on the table but always something cool like that. I had a student win a ukulele. There were a ton of Legos in the spring,
Lego sets.
And everybody loved that. But so prizes are big, right? If nothing else, my students are motivated by the possibility that they can win something really cool.
Yes. The prizes help.
Yeah, I love that. So to distill that all, right, they're going to get a lot of information from their mentor. Over email from the school itself. There'll be another promo video as well as this podcast. But they have to know they need to do one assignment in every class between 12 a.m. and 11:59 p.m. Right?
Yes.
Yeah. Right. That's
and
the
day
big thing.
before. So if we can get them logged in, again, it's one assignment in each. If you're not sure what counts, reach out to your mentor. You might be working on just like a rough draft copy. Obviously, that's not graded right away, so we want to make sure we get you a graded assignment submitted that day. So just keep in good contact with your mentor that day. They'll be able to help you answer the phone when they call. We're trying to give you as much help as we can on that day.
So I'm sure that everyone's looking forward to doing a bunch of schoolwork on Count Day, right? But that is very cool. So Count Day is a couple weeks away. We kind of went through everything that they need to do on the day and how they can prepare and who they need to contact. So if you could give one piece of advice, I'm putting you on the spot here, one piece of advice for any family or student listening to this about Count Day, what would it be?
I have two pieces. One would be...
I didn't even prepare you for this, and
no, I didn't know this question was coming. But, two words of advice. One would be just to stay by your phone if your mentor needs you. And then the second thing would be do it early. It's the best idea. It really helps us out a ton. Like I said, we usually work pretty late that day. But if you get it done a lot earlier, we're not calling to bug you. I mean, once the day goes on, the numbers add up and we start calling people over and over. And we don't want to bug you. We don't want to be those people. So the earlier you get it done, the more it helps us. Our numbers go down and we can cross people off the list. So that would be a big help. And then just knowing what you have to do. I mean, it's like I said, it's pretty simple. We try to keep it as simple as possible for people. Yeah. So as long as you're prepared, we will be there on the day of.
I love that. This isn't a complaint about that, but to show you that we're real about this. Last year, I remember I woke up and I started sending emails and texts and preparing at 7 a.m. and I was on the phones until 9:30 p.m. Yeah. Right. We have staff meetings throughout the day to see, all right, here's students we haven't been able to contact, and we will flood you with calls. Right.
Yeah. If I was a parent, I'd be like a little annoyed. Like I'd be like, all right, kid, like come on, we got to get get on. We got to get this done because my phone's blowing up. So
Yeah,
I actually worked in the labs, and it was dark out when I left. It was very late when the labs are open. So yeah, it's a long day.
Yeah, I love that. I actually gave this advice to a couple of my students last year who were kind of slow to do it, or the second count day, the spring count day, who didn't do everything they need to do in the fall count day. I told them, the earlier you get this done, the less you will be bugged by me, right? So if you don't want me to call you every 15 minutes and ask where you are, get it done early. So.
Yeah, or just let us know. Like, we're understanding. Like, I had students who work jobs or had things to do, and they'll say, hey, I'll be on my computer at 5. We'll make a note on our sheet that says, please do not contact the student until 5. They are working. Yeah. Once they're done, then we can start to call and check in on them. So just let us know. Maybe there's an appointment or something that comes up. We're totally understanding.
Mm-hmm. It's all about planning, right? This is how you can plan ahead. I love that. So late, early, as soon as you can, and we won't bug you.
Yes.
That's perfect.
Yes.
Anything else at all about count day that you want families to know, or just extra encouragement? Anything at all? I don't want to cut you off, but anything more about count day?
So a really cool thing we're doing, and so I started, like I said, almost 2 years ago. My first day was actually 2 days before count day, which is a lot of information to learn at once. So that I was like, oh my gosh, this is like a very stressful job. But once we moved past that, it was fine. But I actually got to be in the labs for count day. I was in person, and we got to have some really cool parties, and just all the kids from the area came in. I was in the Sandusky lab.
This was right before COVID, right?
Yes.
This is the year before.
Yes, the year before. So I had a fall count and a spring count in person. So we're actually going to be inviting families back this year. We have 2 labs that are ready to be open, the one in Saginaw and the one in Detroit, which is where we had our open houses. So we would like to invite families out on that day who are in the area. If you're not, feel free to drive. We're going to have some food for kids throughout the day. We're going to have some door prizes. So if a student comes, as soon as you come in the door, bam, you get a prize, regardless of you just doing count or not. Regardless of you getting your name entered earlier or not. Yes. Yep. So we want to just really invite people out. We would love to have students. It's actually a lot more helpful if you're a little confused and you live right down the street. Bring your laptop, get to meet some kids. That's the whole part of my job, is just, I know that virtual schooling doesn't offer a ton of socialization normally. So this year, my main goal is to just get kids involved and to get them to kind of hang out with kids their own age and to make some connections. And this is a great way to do that. We have one goal that day, is to get every kid counted. So we would love for you to come out and share the day with us and meet some teachers and mentors. And we'll have some fun games, some fun prizes. And again, food is always a big offer for our kiddos. They absolutely love it. So again, that's Saginaw and Detroit. We would love to have everyone out there if you can make it.
Perfect. And that reminded me too, last year, fall and spring, I had students who, whether I didn't warn them enough or they didn't prepare well, found themselves without Wi-Fi or a computer or something like that.
Issues, yes.
Yeah. So I'm thinking, I remember I had a student who had to drive to the local library. And this was during COVID, right? So he had to rent out a room, a little study room in the local library, and do his count day requirements on the public computer. And I had another that I walked through on the telephone how to submit assignments on their cell phone to get things. So that is nice to hear, because if that's you and you are relatively close enough, right, you can drive to Detroit or drive to Saginaw, and someone will have a computer for you, walk you right through it, and it'll be quick and easy.
Yes, absolutely. There'll be people there to help you.
I love that. So every episode, this is a different episode than like stories of success and things. This is kind of informational, but I still want to carry this tradition. And you were a mentor, so I'm sure that you have a story. Every episode of the podcast, we end with a win. Story of success, relationship mended, something that's really cool or exciting or encouraging. So do you, community engagement coordinator / former mentor, do you have any wins to share with us?
Yeah, I have a lot where, the kids who are on my caseload, the connections I have with them are so personal. You get those stories, like the goofy stories where you're just calling to see how their day went, but then you get the really hard stories and you get the struggles, which it's something that weighs on me. I take it to heart, and it's so personal. But I have one student who I think was the very first student on my caseload. So again, I started right before count. It was like, I called him the first day of count. I was like, "Hi, I'm meeting you. Also, I need you to do your count day requirements, but it's nice to meet you." And he used to come into the lab actually, and he struggled with school a lot. He was in person up there, but when he came to us, he still struggled. We'd come in, I'd sit down and do English assignments with him, and it was a big struggle. And I think needed that lab experience really helped him. And then he went home, and then we switched programs actually the next school year. We switched him to Edgenuity.
A different platform.
Yeah. And this student was one of my best students after that. I mean, finishing classes weeks early, like an all A and B student would just call me and be like, "Hey, like, look at the quiz I just did." And he aced it. I'm like, oh my gosh, like it was just a total like 360. But the best part was he was so proud of himself. Like he didn't need to hear it from me. Like, "Oh, you did such a good job." Like he knew that he struggled and that schooling was not looking good. And he switched his attitude around. He knew that, okay, I'm going into high school now. I need to think differently. Yeah. Again, all A's, finish his classes super early. Like he's so proud of himself. And like his parents have called me and say they've just noticed a different kid. Like everyone is just wrapping their arms around this kiddo, and he is doing so well here, and it makes me so happy. It still texts me, still reaches out. I know I'm not his mentor anymore, but it's great to hear from him and just know that he's doing so well. So it does happen.
Wow.
It happens here. It's great.
I love that. And it's the relationship and finding what's best for him.
Yes.
Look at that. Completely turned around.
Yes. It's like a new kid. It's great. And he does so well.
Look at that. That's a win, right? That's a big win.
Yes, a big win.
Sweet. Well, Cara, thank you. I know that you don't live super close to here either, so thank you for coming all the way here to do this, and thank you for all the information. It's going to be super helpful. Yeah,
absolutely. So get those requirements in. We're looking forward to talking with you that day.
There we go. Thank you.
Thanks, Eric.
Welcome to Count Day. On Count Day, the state of Michigan tallies up all of the students who attend MIPS, which determines our funding. Count Day happens twice a year, once in the fall and once in the spring. It's really important that every single MIPS student gets counted so we can continue to build exciting pathways and opportunities for our students. Because we're a virtual school, attendance is tracked in two ways. 1, your coursework, and 2, communication with your teachers and mentors. Here's what we need you to do so that you can be counted. First, complete one graded activity in each of your courses before Count Day. Next, we need you to log into each of your courses on Count Day and complete one graded activity. Remember to hit the Submit button on each assignment to make sure it gets counted. If at all possible, we recommend that you do this in the morning on Count Day as early as you can. If you're in a music course, attendance will be counted through a live session with your teacher. Make sure to indicate in the chat box that you're present and accounted for. To make this busy day as fun and engaging as possible, we'll be holding a Count Day raffle with tons of awesome prizes. The earlier you finish your Count Day requirements, the better your chances of winning. You can also earn another ticket by sharing your picture on social and tagging MI Prep School. We know some of our students practice, train, or work during the day. If that's you, please let your mentor know as soon as possible so everyone's on the same page. You'll need to log your attendance during the afternoon or evening hours on Count Day. Some of you may decide to stay up late the night before Count Day to finish your requirements after midnight. Just make sure you actually press submit on an assignment after midnight, or else it may not be counted. We're looking forward to getting every one of our students counted this year, and we plan to have a fun time in the process. Please plan to get your requirements done as quickly as possible, and stay tuned throughout the day for updates on our Count Day raffle.
If you're interested in enrollment, or you just want to get to know us and what we do a little bit better, head over to our website at miprepschool.org. That's miprepschool.org. Thank you so much for listening to this podcast. We will talk to you soon.